The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Yamaha. Reliability starts here. Guy Harvey Clothing by AFTCO. Bass Assassin and Saltwater Assassin. The best lures, period. Blue Water Outriggers. Everything for your outdoor adventures. Croquis, made in the USA. Drummond Community Bank. Costa. See what's out there. And Lumber Rock.
It's got the punch of a heavyweight and the pounds of a lightweight. Welcome to the main event featuring the new Yamaha 4-stroke F70. Tipping the scales at up to 142 pounds lighter than its 4-stroke competitors. That's a class-leading power-to-weight ratio, a haymaker of a whole shot, surprising mid-range punch, incredible fuel economy, and industry-leading innovation, performance, and reliability. The Yamaha 4-stroke F70. Reliability starts here.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. Always thinking of ways to give you more, while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
What is CCA? CCA has been representing recreational fishermen for over 25 years, and when your rights to fish are threatened, the CCA is there to make sure government regulators are making sound decisions. I'm a life member of CCA, and when fishery decisions are being made, the CCA in the room is fighting for our recreational rights. We need to give our kids the same opportunities to fish as we did. Do what I did. Go to ccaflorida.org and join for only $25 so you can protect your recreational angling rights.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
Don't forget, the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report wants to see your photos. Head to our Facebook page and upload your best for your chance to be featured right here on the show. And as promised, the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is going on tour. Catch Captain Rick and the rest of the gang at Marine Supply of Winter Haven on May 16th from 3 to 8 p.m. and at Fish Stock at Riverside Park in New Smyrna from 9 to 5 p.m. May 23rd through the 26th. Now we're going to head to the Yeti Northwest region where Captain Jeff Hageman hangs out. Now, Captain Jeff, first of all, Mom said she had a great time there, so thanks for showing her around. But we'll catch up on that later. First, you have to tell us about Wahoo.
Wahoo in my area, along with the rest of the big water, blue water stuff, you're going to have to burn some fuel on my side. I talk about this every year. You're looking at about a 120-mile run, but we do have them. All the same stuff that everybody's been talking about will work. Black and red is a big color over here as well as over there. The braid tremblers and sea witches, all that stuff works. Bass trolling, we've got them, but you're going to burn the gas.
All right, so you're going to tell me about Gag Groupers, or where are we going now? I can tell you're really motivated and fired up about this report tonight.
I am. I don't like the blue water stuff because we got to make such a long run, and not a lot of guys do it. So
it sounds like it's put you in a just state of depression. So why don't you tell me about the grouper fishing so that at least you can recover for me?
Okay, I'll do it. We got them pretty much throughout the region right now. The whole region's got them anywhere from 12 feet of water on out to 70 feet of water right now. Most of the fish are being caught on ledges and rock piles. Pinfish, sardines, all been working real great. Some fish up to 30 inches are being caught, so some good-sized fish right now. You want to use heavy tackle, a high-speed reel, at least 50-pound or higher on your main line, 100-pound, 125-pound leader, 6 to 8-aught egg sinker, 5 to 7-aught BMC circle hook, depending on your bait size. If you're using a big bait, put a bigger circle hook on. If you're using a smaller bait, try and hide that hook a little bit. But Gag Groupers seem to be everywhere right now. Get out there and, like I said, from 12 feet of water on out, fish everywhere. And I'd like to thank, we're going to go inshore now, Captain Jordan Todd with saltwater obsession out of St. Joe Bay and all the way to Apalachicola. He's in the upper part of my region, and Captain Jordan reports right now that the triple tail bite has been really starting to turn on in St. Vincent Sound right now. Most of them have been free floaters, and what that means is they haven't really been hanging on any structures. Most of the time you're going to find them on crab trap buoys, channel markers, and channel buoys out there. But right now, he said most of them are free floating. So look for these fish when you're running from spot to spot and you're changing out and going from different spot to spot. Keep an eye out for fish on top, fins on the water, all that stuff. And a shrimp under a cork is your best bet.
All right,
Also, shore,
keep going, Bubba. Come on, you know how to do this. Come on, you can do it. Come on.
Captain Pat McGrath of One More Cast Charters out of Keaton Beach reports an unbelievable trout bite right now. The trout have been being caught right now in anywhere from 4 to 5 feet of water over the grass flats. Cajun Thunders with a 1/4-ounce jig head with a Bass Assassin chicken on the chain. Shad tail has been the best bait of choice right now, and the fish are averaging anywhere from 1 to 3 pounds.
All right, well, thanks, Jeff. We'll go ahead and get to the Drummond hotspots from the northwest region. That was the Yeti region, of course, Lauren. But boy, I tell you, Jeff is struggling. You can tell that tarpon fishing is kicking his butt. He's doing 3 half days a day. Inshore, triple tail. In the north part of his region, look for the fish on the crab traps and the channel markers. And then offshore, gag groupers on the rock piles and ledges, and 30 to 60 feet of water, use pinfish and sardines. And for any of you guys out there that may be interested in getting a job on the northwest region, you might want to send me an email. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, he's just tired.
He's tired, but that's okay.
Let's give him a break. What do you think we head south to our La Jolla region?
Let's head south. All right.
I like it. All right. Captain Mark Johnson is filling in for Randy Tao in the Keys. Captain Mark, you say the wahoo in your area are mostly found offshore, and sometimes when you're out looking for something else entirely. What's that all about?
Hey, hello, everybody. It's Captain Mark Johnson filling in for Randy Tao, and you got it, my dear. Wahoo! There's a reason why they call them wahoo. They pull big drag. They make everybody smile on the boat when you're offshore. They're really neat looking when you see them right below the boat, and they sure are tasty fish to eat. But this time of year, the wahoo are found offshore mostly when you're fishing for dolphin around the blue water with the strong Gulf Stream currents. And sometimes you can even find them in the shallows anywhere between 300 to 500 feet deep. Also, dolphin fishing when you find large pieces of floating debris, there's a good chance that that wahoo is down below the dolphin. So it can definitely pay dividends to cast live bait with some lead on it and try to get it down deep. You can use a butterfly jig on a rod with some braided line. There's a couple tricks to catch that wahoo and to try to target them outside of that dolphin when they're all around that pallet. If you like to troll for the wahoo, there's some techniques for the high-speed trolling they do. But the pretty simple way to do it is to troll a big black and red feather in front of a ballyhoo and put it on either a wire line or a heavy trolling rig with a 4 to 8 ounce cigar lead. And that can sometimes really make the day when you're dolphin fishing.
All right, well, let's stay offshore, Mark. What else you got happening in your region, bub?
You know, the dolphin fishing's been spectacular. This week has been good for the dolphins in that same depth, around 600 feet water, up and down the Keys from Key Largo to Marathon. And the best fishing's been from Alamorada towards Marathon along what we call the South Rips, which are basically some really rocky bottom and some small mountain peaks that create big current edges out in the Gulf Stream, anywhere from 8 to 14 miles offshore. And when you're around the rips, you want to look for the birds. A lot of bird working, and you learn ballyhoos, and the lures are great to be trolling. And with mixed in with the dolphin birds, you can sometimes find some tuna birds, which is always a good surprise. But the dolphin fishing is what everybody's up for this time of year. You can also catch the schoolies. If you find yourself with the small dolphins, you want to have some spinning rods ready, and you can fish either artificial or small chunk bait. And remember, they got to be 20 inches, I think. And, man, what a good eating fish they are.
All right, let's go inshore, Mark.
Inshore, okay. We got bonefish on the mind. Okay, bonefish is a hot topic in the Keys. And this time of year, when the tides are right, you can find them good on the incoming tide, especially just after the full moon. And the activity in Alamorada has been really good on the bay side as well as the ocean early morning. Captain Bo Basu has reported that his bonefishing has been really stellar with higher tides, and he's finding some bonefish up to 10, 12-pound range. He's been using some live small blue crabs as well as the biggest live shrimp you can get this time of year. And the sight fishing, of course, is everybody's favorite. And if you have the right conditions, especially the tide, that's what you're looking for.
Now, when we talked to you last week, Mark, you were actually down at the bridge fishing. So tell me, how's the tarpon fishing going now?
You know, the tarpon fishing has still just been absolutely stellar. Whether you're on the ocean side watching the migratory fish coming down the edges and throwing flies at them, or if you're bait fishing and fishing like a mortal man and you're fishing around the channels and the bridges, whether it's daytime, early morning, or even the evening bite has been really hot. They're fishing a lot of live blue crab, some live mullet, and you can always use the old standby of a pinfish if all else fails. And when you're fishing up at the bridges and whatnot, you want to be either sitting on the anchor with your baits out behind the boat on the float, or if you're drifting, you want to spread your baits out and drift and stay in the current on the up current side of the bridges, and you want to cover as much ground as you can. And pretty standard rig for that is just a live bait, whether it's a blue crab, a pinfish, or a mullet. You need about 6 feet of lead, or anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds. Put it under a cork and a really big circle hook, and you're in good shape.
Hey, Mark, I got a question for you before you go. I appreciate you filling in for Randy the last couple weeks. But my question is, I know you specialize in guiding families. Tell me about that niche quickly.
You know what, the family, we call it the Florida Keys Fun Fishing, the family business we do. We run the bigger bay boats. We take families up to 4 or 5, mom, dad, a couple kids. We keep the fishing very simple in the backcountry. We get everybody involved casting and catching and taking lots of pictures and really making it a fun time. And it's a great way to keep a family active and having a lot of fun without having an electronic device in the boat. We make the kids play in the live well. They get to touch shrimp and crabs. They get to touch fish. They learn a little bit about the outdoors. And it's a 4-hour trip we offer, and it's really taken off the last few years. And it's a great way to get the whole family out in the boat.
All
and
right.
the last part about the backcountry is that nobody ever gets seasick.
Yeah, that's good. All right, well, thanks for filling in. Great job. We're going to go ahead and get to the Florida Keys hotspots from the La Jolla region. Inshore, bonefish. Look along the oceanside flats on the incoming tide. Use small crabs or shrimp on a light spinning rod. And then offshore, dolphin, troll ballyhoo, or lures in 600 feet till you find the birds. Then have a spinning rod ready to cast at the swimming fish that are free swimming. You know what free swimming is?
Free swimming.
Yeah, they don't have to pay.
Oh, man.
They pay the price when you catch them, though.
All right, now let's just have a look at the tournaments in the Keys. How about that? Okay, First off, the Mother's Dolphin Tournament in Marathon is scheduled for this weekend, May 10th and 11th. It features $5,000 for the heaviest dolphin caught, and it benefits Habitat for Humanity. Next up, anglers fishing the Outback Golden Fly Invitational Tournament, scheduled for May 19th to the 22nd in Isla Mirada, must use a tournament furnished tippet not greater than 16-pound test. Also, the Keys-wide Florida Keys Dolphin Championship, set for Memorial Day weekend, features a $15,000 top cash prize plus the opportunity to win a $75,000 Sea Hunter Bay boat for the angler who catches the largest dolphin. And lastly, the Yamaha Dolphins Masters Invitational, May 25th in Key West. More than $13,000 is offered to the angler who scores the highest combined weight of 3 dolphin catches. Shoo, Rick, this is a whole lot of money up for grabs.
There it is.
All right, now let's hand it over to Andy Newman in the Florida Keys to find out more about our featured tournament. Hey, Andy.
This week we're featuring the Florida Keys Dolphin Championship. It's set for Memorial Day weekend from May 24th to the 26th. Now this is truly a Keys-wide tournament. There's 5 different weigh stations from Key Largo to Key West. Now if you're among the first 200 teams to register and you catch the largest dolphin weighing more than 55 pounds, that'll get you a $75,000 Sea Hunter Bay boat. Beyond that, there's $15,000 for first place and 36 other categories to win cash and prizes. Now for more information, go to FloridaKeysDolphinChampionship.com, and of course for more details on other tournaments and events in the Keys, look at FLAKeys.com. Back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, coming up, we're going to talk to Captain Jim Ross out of the Central East, and Jimbo is going to show us some new products from the workbench. Don't go away.
The Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by CCA, the voice of recreational anglers for over 25 years. the Florida Keys and Key West. Come as you are. Hookup Lures, premium lures for serious anglers. La Jolla Resort, a place for family and fishermen. And Maverick Boat Company, makers of premium brand boats. Maverick, Hughes, Pathfinder, and Cobia.
What do you ladies do when you need your vehicles repaired?
We used to call Harold, but now we have an even better way to find the best repairs in Florida.
Visit BennettAuto.com and click on the Certified Service Centers link to find the one nearest to you.
It's hard to find a good mechanic that you can trust, but not anymore. Just go to BennettAuto.com, click on Certified Service Centers, and you can find the best mechanic with the best parts in Florida.
Everyone can get great parts and service from someone you can trust.
Now that's something to cheer about.
The Johnsons, right?
Yeah.
Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado up front.
So, what do you do?
Well, nice.
And Bingo was his name.
The Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. For work, for life, Chevy Silverado.
Well, Jimbo, once again, we return back to the Jägermeister workbench. New products. It's the boys' candy store, toy store,
yes,
whatever
is.
store you want to. We got some new lures.
We got some new stuff and some really beautiful stuff. These are bossed lures.
Got it.
Now, whether you want to go catch a wahoo, a dolphin, a tuna, a marlin, they've got lures to catch anything that swims out in the blue water. They've got over 60 shapes. 60 molds, different heads. This resin that they use is the same resin that they make the windshields on fighter jets out of.
Whoa.
So it will not break or crack. I don't think I've never heard of a fighter jet's windshield cracking.
No, I'm with you.
At Mach 20 or whatever they do. So you control these at any speed you want, and they're going to hold up beautifully. They're made in the USA, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're weighted, they're keeled, so they're going to troll straight.
Right.
And you can buy them rigged, unrigged. And they have this, which I've actually fished with one of these. They call this a commando because it has no skirt. It's like a cedar plug, but it's made out of resin. And I've caught tunas on these, and I have friends that have caught marlin on these same things. So you don't have to worry about the skirts, and they troll beautiful. You can let it way back there.
I'm glad that they named a lure after my everyday attire.
Commando.
That's kind of a cool commando.
There you go.
All right, now you guys know that now at home. All right, what is this little deal? This is as sexy as it gets here, dude. This is another commando, number 84.
Different size. I mean, look at some of these lures. I mean, you can pull this as a teaser, or if you're over on the Great Barrier Reef, I guess you could pull this for a black marlin.
Right.
Or in St. Thomas for a giant blue marlin.
Right.
Or probably in Bimini for a giant blue marlin.
Or if you're downtown Miami where you keep your boat and anybody gives you any stuff, you could also use it as a El Cabongo.
Yeah, that will do the job too.
That is a big lure. You know, the cool part of when I'm looking at all these lures, not are they just sexy and beautiful. Certainly, you know, lures they catch us.
Sure.
You know, but I got to tell you, the shapes and the sizes is what's intriguing about this line of lures.
I mean, look at the inlays in these things. It's like mother of pearl.
Yep.
I mean, if it doesn't catch the fish, it's definitely going to catch me.
It definitely did.
It
all
did,
right.
You're right.
What else we got, Jimbo? We got a new ice pack here.
New ice pack.
These guys are no stranger to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report, but the difference now is that they've got a new foil type of finish that they had just sent us.
Right, most of these in the past have been throwaways.
Correct.
This is reusable. So you can refreeze it ultimately for years and years, and I guess until you drop an ice pick through it or a fish spine, but it seems pretty heavy duty.
You know, the thing that I like about it too is when I look here, we can use this for our bait cooler.
Right.
Because it's washable. We can certainly use it for drink cooler, food cooler, fish bags, you know, for the guys that got kingfish tournaments. Has multiple uses. Now, in redfish world where we live, Jimbo, a lot of times in the summer, the water in the live well gets so hot that we want to cool it down. But if we put ice in there, we mess with the salinity.
Correct.
And so now what ends up happening, we could potentially kill that redfish because he don't keep the water as salty as he likes. Great product from New Ice, man. All right, now, this is something that I've been just dying to show every guys. So you want to talk about it?
All right, this is
the new Loomis.
G Loomis NRX, correct?
Yes.
Okay, it's made with nano resin graphite.
Right.
Which it's like weighs absolutely nothing.
And that's the whole idea, is that this is the highest composite, that nano resin, with its latest and greatest in graphite, has made a rod for the artificial fishermen guys. You guys that like to bass fish, you guys that like to cast the worms, the plugs. Now you got something in your hand. It's not gonna wear you out all day long.
It's like a featherweight.
What size rods and what? It comes in spin and plug.
They have spin and plug, and the spinning rods come in a 6/8,
right,
a 7-foot, a 7.4, and a 7/8.
Right.
They have medium light, medium, and medium heavy.
Those are the actions?
That's the actions. Then in the plug rod comes in 6.6 and 7.1, and in a medium heavy. They've got the double grip. What do you call this kind of grip? I don't know.
It's a split tail
grip
which
for,
keeps
for
it
lightness.
light. Exactly.
I mean, this part you're never using anyways. And I mean, I've never felt a rod that light, and it seems like
and that is a
got some good backbone to it.
7'1" bait casting rod.
Right.
Which is long for most bait casting rods. 6'6", 6 foot, you know, so great product just came out from Loomis. I'm really excited for all those inshore fishermen and bass fishermen that do a lot of casting.
Sure. This would be great for any kind of fishing.
All right, well, speaking of casting, I'm going to cast it over to Lauren so that she can dial us in on another region. Take it away.
I'll do that. You guys will notice Jimbo didn't comment when Rick was sharing with us his preferences over there. Little TMI segment of the hour. Thank you, guys. Jimbo was wise to just skip on over that. All right, Captain Jim Ross has been waiting for us in the Central East. Captain Jim, let's talk Wahoo.
Well, let's definitely talk Wahoo. I'm sure that, you know, like all the other regional reports, my Wahoo report is going to start with high-speed lures, and that's the way the guys like to do it over here in this part of the state. They like dragging those high speed. They like to also put them on planers and downriggers. That seems to get the lure down in the water column below the surface tension, and that way the Wahoo can pick them up a little easier at those faster speeds. Anglers that are using this method generally are looking for rips, weed lines, temperature breaks, you know, whatever surface structure is possible. But if there's none of that available, the best thing to do is go straight to the nearest reef and troll a zigzag pattern across it from one side to the other as you're working up and down that reef. Now, the bottom structure generally is going to hold bait fish, and, you know, it's going to hold Wahoo that are eating those bait fish. Our average Wahoo is running about 20 to 40 pounds, but, you know, fish will go into the low 80s, especially here as we start to get the small king mackerel that are coming up from the south and the dolphin run starts. That's when those bigger Wahoo have a tendency to show up in my region. The other offshore species that we've got this week is triple tail. You want to look around the scattered weeds and floating debris that's in 20 to 70 feet of water, and that's what's holding the triple tail. Anglers are, you know, trying to run to the offshore grounds a lot of times. They need to plan to stop on that stuff because if it looks fishy, there's probably triple tail on it. The fish right now, though, they're a little bit small, Lauren. They're running, you know, they're not as big as those fish that we had in March and April, but they're still fun to target. You want to use a live free-line shrimp with a 1/0 or 2/0 size VMC circle hook on it, and just cast it out there and just kind of free-line the shrimp out in front of the triple tail. They'll come pick it up, but they'll also hit small chartreuse, tan, or white-colored flies, or sometimes some plastic shrimp that are fished the same way that we talked about fishing those live shrimp. Our average triple tail's running about 2 to 4 pounds, but quite a few of these fish are running over the 7-pound mark. And I've got a picture of Debbie Heinen with a nice-sized triple tail that she caught. This was one of about 5 or 6 that her and her husband caught with me the other day when we were out.
Man, what a beautiful day. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah, gorgeous. Just before all the wind started blowing.
Tell me
we've
about...
had wind for about the last 5 or 6 days now.
Well, tell me about the redfish, bub.
redfish is still your best option. You know, you don't have to be a sight fisherman to do it, but that's what a lot of the guys like to do this time of the year. So if you do like to do that, look for areas with grass that have large schools of mullet. That's what the redfish are holding around right now. And the saltwater assassin 4-inch sea shad tails rigged on a 3/0 size, 1/8 ounce offset worm hook. Those weighted worm hooks, that's the best way to do that because you can work those grassy areas without getting the lure hung up in that grass. Now, the drunk monkey color has been working good, but so has the chicken on a chain, especially in slightly dirtier water, and the root beer with red and gold flake. And another lure that you guys need to really try out there is the assassin shrimp or the trigger X shrimp. Both of those shrimp are very, very realistic and work awesome in this type of a presentation, in this type of a scenario. You want to work them in a twitching or hopping kind of a fashion. That's what the redfish want right now. Live freeline, live shrimp is also pretty good. Throw them into the sandy potholes, and if they don't immediately get picked up by a redfish or trout, basically get it back in because the pinfish are going to pick that thing apart. Our average slot size redfish is running about 3 to 6 pounds right now, but there's some bigger fish running around as well. We always have those big ones here in the Central East region. And I got a chance to fish with my son the other day, and of course he went out there and showed the old man how to do it. He took me for a redfish schooling trip, and he always seems to do that. But I want you guys to notice that picture. Justin was casting a root beer red flake, saltwater assassin 4-inch sea shad on that 3/0 offset worm hook, specifically targeting tailing fish in that new growing grass. And that is the way to catch them right now. If you guys can do that, you're going to do just exactly what Justin did, get a bent rod and a big smile to go along with it.
All right,
the other thing that we've got right now, we've got sharks, and they're running small to medium size up and down the beaches, but they really showed up the past couple of weeks. I always kid. When the surfers and the spring breakers start showing up, that's chum, and then the sharks start showing up. So that's the way I look at it. When I start seeing spring breakers show up, and just after spring break, I know the duskies and the black tips and the spinners are all going to be there, as well as the bonnet heads and the bulls. Live bait or chunks of large size fish like bonitas or stuff like that, cast from the surf or in an inlet is going to work well. You can do this at Sebastian, up and down the beaches, or all around the Cape, and then all the way up the pond. You want to use a short leader of number 7 or heavier straight wire, or some 90 to 250-pound cable, depending on the size of the shark you're catching. The average fisherman, though, needs to take into consideration that there are beach goers out there, so stay at least 150 yards away from the swimming areas if you're going to be shark fishing. Our average shark's running 15 to 30 pounds, but there's been some fish in the past week or two that have gone over 200 that are in the surf. So we've got some big ones out there if you want to tussle with them.
Wow, great report from the CCA Central East region, Jim. I'm going to go ahead and get to the hot spots from the Central East region. Inshore, surf, and inlet fishing for a variety of sharks. Use live or large chunks of cut bait on heavy wire leader rigs. And then offshore, guys, grouper on the 27-fathom rig. Use live pinfish, blue runners, grunts on a standard bottom rig. Standard bottom rig. What is that? What? Never mind. Just keep going.
Skip it.
Yeah,
Just skip it.
Go ahead.
Stay with us when we return. We're looking all the way up, all the way to the Panhandle, that is. There's much more to come on the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report.